General YouTube, Sice came back, by popular demand. Here's the behind the scenes of the Sandy versus Wolf. So, Sandy had ended up contacting me once we had done about 4 fights, started getting bigger, and then he ended up coming to the cut fight. Sandy came to the cut fight with his manager at the time. Her name was Jakira. And when he got there, he was like, man, I like this. It's live. Everybody here. You think you could put a fight together for me? So I was like, man, yeah, that's what I do. I think I can find somebody. I was like, I don't know how many people in your age bracket will get in the fight. I don't know anybody that's that old. But if you find somebody, let me know and we can go from there. Down probably about 4 days, 5, I'm gonna just say a week. Week later, he hit me. He like, man, I got this guy. His name is Ilzak. He from New Jersey, but he stay out in Montgomery County. He wants to fight me. It's been in the talks, but we'll throw it in your hands. That's how I end up being Ilzak. So a couple of weeks later, maybe 2 weeks later, me, Sandy, Bilal, Lloyd, Jakir, and Ilzak meet up down the National Harbor. And we all sitting there, and they had sealed the deal. We're going to fight. So I'm on the search for the building, and they say they want to use UFC gloves, and we just going, we just putting everything together. Once I think Sandy started telling certain people that I was giving him money. If y'all know Sandy, y'all know he has a habit, or had a habit. I ain't heard from Sandy in so long, but at that time he had a habit, and I was paying him in order to keep him close, because people that have habits, once they disappear, they disappear. You probably won't hear from them. And I was like, man, this fight, I already threw the flyer out. I need to keep them close. So I'm giving them money here and doing little things, picking them up, taking them to the gym. And I told them, man, for this fight, we're going to do it big. We're going to put you in a hotel. I'm going to get you a massage. I'm going to treat you just as a fighter, because that's what you are. So he was with it. Probably closer to the fight, things start getting a little shaky. Sandy would call me in the middle of the night, and he would be like, hey, I need some money. It didn't matter the time to him. I'd be like, hey, Sandy, I got things to do. You can't be calling me in the middle of the night, every night, for $20, $30 so you can get your issue off. Once I told him no the first time, he understood. The second time he called me, he was like, man, I ain't fighting. I said, man, I done already put money in your pocket, half of this, half of that. Nah, you going to fight. So when I started to learn that, when I would say no sometimes, probably somebody else would be like, man, Sandy, I got you. But if I told him no, he was like, nah, I ain't fighting. That was just claim the thing. I'm not fighting. Here nor there, we get close to the fight. We get probably the day before the fight, I put him in the hotel. Like I said, the day before that, I gave him the massage. I got him the massage done. And I think I took him to the Massage Envy out there somewhere in Clinton. And, he was cool. So that night, let me backtrack. I'm sorry. A couple of weeks before the fight, Ilzak had called me, and he had told me that he needed $500, $500 or $1,000 to fight. And I was like, that wasn't your agreement. Your agreement was, hey man, I'm coming out here from New Jersey, and I want to come to the PG County side because I stay in Moco and I want to get a name for myself. I told him, look man, I could blow you up. I could do this and that and, make a name for yourself, help you make a name for yourself. He was with it. It was No Money Incorporated at the time. Sandy was the first person to ever get paid from us. So maybe a couple of weeks before the fight, 2 weeks, maybe 3 before the fight, Ilzak called me back. He like, man, I need that 500 or I ain't fighting. I ain't gonna fight. That's what it was. I was like, you gonna back out of the fight because you're believing that this fight is gonna be the biggest fight? He like, yeah, man, nah, if you can't pay me, I ain't doing it. That wasn't a part of our agreement. Mind you, nobody knew Ilzak. Nobody. Not one person. The only reason that people know him is because he was supposed to have fought Sandy and we were promoting him. Or if anybody knew him, I didn't know him, and I didn't know anybody knew him because everybody kept calling him you know, New Jersey. What's up with the New Jersey guy? Here nor there, he backs out of the fight, and I have to replace him now. So Wolf comes into play.
Big Wolf! Big Wolf out here! Y'all better stay tuned! Y'all better stay tuned! That nigga too old! Yeah, nigga, yeah! Let's go! Big Wolf! The whole world! We are rapping, we are...
Wolf comes into play because Sandy had told me that him and Wolf were supposed to fight. I think he said out southeast in the back of a store, like outside. So I called Wolf and I get in contact with Wolf, or Wolf gets in contact with me. And he like, man, I'll fight him. So I'm like, okay. I said, what you want? He said, man, we could talk about that when I meet you. I haven't met him yet. I meet him, I pull up on him. He pulls up on me and my man Murder event. Shout out to Murder. I called Murder. I said, man, Sandy and Wolf gonna come out there. Is it cool? He said, yeah. He had like a little clothing event. The first thing Wolf ever said to me was, we look alike. You my little cousin. I love you. I looked at Bilal. I said, man, this nigga is retarded. So we're dealing with a junkie and a mentally challenged person. This is gonna be a long ride, okay? And it was. Here nor there. After that, everything was cool with Wolf. Wolf started to get a taste of the Instagram and, you know, people reposting and reposting him and talking about the fight. And he just turned crazy. It was crazy. He just went berserk. Man, Sice, it's gonna be 1 million people at the fight. We need to try to book Redskins Stadium. Everybody in the world gonna come. Man, get there.
We don't we fight him. We said 2 rounds. You call Hey, Wolf.
Make sure you book this or I ain't fighting. He started to feel himself. And I'm looking at him like, nigga, what? Like, are you listening to yourself? Have you lost your mind? But me not putting into play that my man wasn't all the way there, I'm just kirking off on. I'm calling him all types of imbeciles. I'm saying, you're retarded, you a dummy. Get off my phone, da-da-da-da-da. We just going back and forth. And he had backed out of the fight. Wolf had backed out of the fight about 62 times, if y'all can remember. I ain't fighting with Sice King, man. Forget Sice King. We gonna do the fight on our own. I was dealing with that, then I'm dealing with Sandy. Ilzak kind of fell out of the picture. Once he backed out of it, he was like, I'm done. If I can't get no money, you know, I ain't fighting. And he would always say he's Tisha Campbell's little brother, so he should be paid. Not that he played on Martin or he played in any type of television show or movie. He just wanted to be paid because he was Tisha Campbell's little brother and his name held weight. I don't know how that was going to work out, but hey, shout out to Ilzak, shout out to Sandy, shout out to Wolf. I think Ilzak and them are still doing fights. I think they fighting in U-Haul trucks still. They're doing something like that. I've seen it a couple of times on the gram that they were doing, you know, some stuff, keeping the boxing name alive, you know. But jump back on track. Wolf then calls me like, cuz all I want is $100 in the streaming rights, and I won't say I'm not gonna fight. I'm really gonna fight. I said, you want $100? Cool. Give him $100. Pull up on
20, 40, 60, 80, 100.
Give him $100. He wanted the streaming rights to the fight. Hey, do it. Whatever you did, you know, whatever it is that you need to get in this ring with Sandy, I gotta make it happen. Sandy is still on board. He like, man, all I require for you to do is put me in a hotel the night before the fight. I don't want to be outside. I want to sleep in a hotel. I want to rest my body. I do that, boom, put him in there. This is what people don't know. I put him in the hotel down the street from my house, and I just go down there to go check up on him, drive down there, and I open up the door. Sandy is on the bed, stretched out, coke all on his nose. So I'm like, oh. I know this man didn't overdose before the fight. Throw water on his face. He wake up a couple of times. Yeah, I throw water on his face, and he had told me, he said, man, I got so high, I just passed out. But I threw like 3 buckets of water on his face. 1 cold, 1 hot, 1 cold. Or I should say 1 cold, 1 warm, 1 cold again. He woke up. And man, after that, I was ready to just, for the fight to be over, y'all. I'm not lying. You know, it was just too much to deal with. And if y'all can remember, I didn't do another fight for a couple of months because I was like, this stuff is crazy. Like, it's just too much to deal with these people. It's just like you're dealing with children. Like I said, we got through it, man, and Wolf didn't get the streaming rights. I don't know. He had his camera set up, but something had happened. He had charged all these people, ended up taking their money, and they was contacting me, and I was like, hey, y'all need to talk to Dwayne because I didn't have anything to do with the streaming rights. And it, you know, like I said, once I was done with them, Wolf did another fight, the Toe and Wolf, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, that's the backstory behind that, man. It was money hungry people, drugs, and Instagram that had these people going crazy.